All right. So, here we are. Hopefully everything is working. If you guys are still tuned in, I want to keep things running for you guys, so just bear with us as we are loaded into map number 2. Oh, I can actually set scores on this, can't I? All the player teams are like totally flipped though. I see. So that really complicates it. So we're just not going to do that. All right. Okay. So as long as some people are able to watch this stream, we'll keep going, but I'll also make sure to put the VODs on YouTube as soon as possible. So like I said, in the top we have Fenner representing Clan Dank. He is a fan of the Maymays. Teamed up with Patco, aka Root Caliber. Up against the ZP team of hinO and NeutronX, both representing Europe. Coming in, playing cross-server like the badasses that they are. And I can shrink this a little bit if it's just a bit intrusive, so trying to be reasonably flexible with all this. That's something I can fix probably more easily during a break. But yeah, I think this is a game where we'll see a much more aggressive setup from the players involved. hinO's going to open 15 pool. Fenner still going with the hatch first, so he's a brave boy. He's as brave as ever. Yeah. Probe scout from Caliber. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to know. It's like, okay, double gas, standard. He saw that was a pool first. And at the same time, Neutron has a probe scout in his opponent's base. Did not see anything here, but the gateway being built as a wall for Patco. And he's not 100% aware of that hatch first, but I think seeing by the pool timing, he should know. That pool basically just started. So he can see now. It's like, oh, okay. And this actually, yeah, cybernetics scores a nice little bit earlier for NeutronX because of the way that this was all set up, since he was not positioned at the other side here. But yeah, now Patco does get to see the hatchery being taken for his opponent. And looking forward here, this has been, I think this is cool. We get to see a little bit of the strategies that are popular, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see NeutronX go for that Phoenix play just because it was so good. But on the other hand, it might be more difficult to pull that off when you do have to worry about your opponent going for a potential early push. You know, the 2v2 metagame is something that has never really been able to develop. There are some people that pretty much like to play 2v2 exclusively, but there's never been like enough tournaments where you had really, really good players figuring out a way to play. NeutronX picks off the probe scout of Caliber. So nice little grab there to start things off. The first blood drawn in this game as NeutronX was able to send his probe out to the watchtower. So he just gets a little bit of vision, and he actually will be able to see the danklings of Fenner crossing over to his map. So he'll know, his side of the map, so he'll know what he has to worry about. He'll know what's coming his way. And Fenner seems to be playing the greed game again with no gas whatsoever, while hinO is getting his Zergling speed up. So perhaps this works because Patrick, I know his name is Patrick, which is why Patco is here. But Caliber, he has that potential to wall off if he really needs to buy time. And I like that he has a stalker on the map to grab this Overlord. There's another Overlord as well, but speed is not quite yet done. So I don't think hinO should be able to grab that stalker. It would require a mistake from him. This time around, though, NeutronX is actually going to open up with that Oracle. And this Mothership Core comes in once again, just focusing down probes. And he's going to pick up 3 kills, 4 probe kills with that Mothership Core. And that's just, I think, and you know what, guys? I have to say the only reason why this works so well, oh, a Zealot getting into some combat here, that the only reason why that Mothership Core is able to run in and get so much damage done is purely because, we have the 4 kills. That's purely because Caliber sends his stalker out to hunt for Overlords, but Zergling speed is getting very close to finishing. There's quite a few Lings on the map. His Protoss units are out there. He's very scared. I do like that Caliber has basically said, okay, that Phoenix play worked really, really well. I want to try to do something similar, while Fenner remains a greedy, greedy boy. And if there's one thing that Fenner's good at, it's building tons of roaches. Like, yeah, if you ever had the displeasure to play Fenner on ladder, he probably buried you with roaches. Now he's trying to block off with these queens and a gateway, but the Lings are still going to be able to get inside. That really complicates things, and He might just be able to deal a crazy amount of damage at the start of this game. First queen down, Fenner's second queen gets picked off, and the Zealot can't hold on its own. He's going to surround the Stalker, that very expensive... Oh, he picks up his own Stalker to save it. Well, that's cute. Why didn't you pick up the queen? Anyway, these Lings do get blocked in now. He's trying to bust that front open since there are just Zerglings on the production tab. Now he's starting to build another drone as he realizes that the defense is there. But gets a pretty reasonable amount of kills. And if you look at the worker count, Fenner's still been a very greedy boy. So it's not the end of the world in this position. It's just a bit tricky. And there's that forward tree. He's trying to block this off as best as he can. His Warp Gate, I do not believe is ready. Yeah, Caliber's not going to get Warp Gate, but always supposed to build another pylon. The Stalker guys trying to block that wall. Some roaches are brought forward from Fenner to try to block this off at the same time. So where is the southern team going? The lair is just beginning. Meanwhile, I believe it's been done for a little bit for Fenner, yeah. So Fenner can move into roach speed as soon as he can afford it. NeutronX is all of his Stalkers parked on top of his Nexus to make sure that he'll be able to safely defend against any Phoenix harass, especially with this blink that he's going for. So that's just going to open up that door for him. hinO's queen just kind of trotting along here. Let's see. hinO just kind of running his Lings around the map, looking for maybe pylons or anything that he can grab. Here come the Phoenix, and like we said, the Stalkers are just way too well positioned. But he floats and overcharges this Nexus preemptively. He's basically saying, yeah, I don't have anything here to defend, but I don't want to worry about that. And I do like how they basically agreed, yeah, let's just keep this pylon here. Force fields in a few Lings. And Fenner and Caliber doing the best they can. This Overlord for hinO comes in and it's going to just die a horrible, painful death. So strategy-wise, Spire is going to be the choice for Fenner. So not Mass Roach this game, even though he opened with the Roach Warren, and the Roach Warren was seen. I guess the Roach Warren being seen is enough, right? Because he knows that Fenner basically just went for a Roach max-out rush last game, which, you know, that he executed the build well enough, but his Protoss teammate took too much damage for him to actually make anything of it. And I just think it's very interesting when you look at the way that these two teams are trying to synergize, because it's basically just, okay, now I'm going to build a Void Ray to try to complement against maybe Roach play, but Caliber seems to be content with just playing on one base for a very long time. So you see that the blue team is, you know, NeutronX has been allowed to expand much more by his teammate. You know, it's like, it's basically his girlfriend saying, yeah, okay, you can actually go and hang out with the guys every once in a while. It's, you know, it's all right. Whereas Fenner has a tight grip on all this money. Like he's keeping Caliber a very broke boy. Picks out the queen there though, and really pushing out the creep spread is hinO as well. Fenner not interested in blocking that off, but that's also because the Protoss player has the wall, and if he needs to rebuild it, obviously creep will prevent that. So the Phoenix are going to come in to harass hinO's base. He's actually getting a nice couple of drone kills here. Solid micro from Caliber as he backs off. And I really like the switch up of strategies because look at this. He does have Roach speed coming in, but the Mutalisks are on the way out now for Fenner. And Fenner, Mutalisk, Phoenix. It's pretty interesting because even with Blink Stalkers, if he blinks on top of the Phoenix and then the Phoenix just start to lift things up while the Mutas actually engage, then I feel like we get ourselves a really weird game position, and I kind of like it. Like, is he waiting to catch these? Oh, the Stalkers blink forward. The Stalkers blink forward, and the Phoenix immediately start to pick up the Stalkers with the Mutalisk support helping to pick these off. He's actually going to be able to kill a good number of these Stalkers, it looks like. There's plenty of energy left on the Phoenix, and at the very least, it's allowing these Mutalisks to just kind of fight unabated. He's going to try to throw up some Spore Crawlers during all of this harass, but not a lot of Stalkers actually in position now to come in, and the Mutalisks are continuing to reinforce. This is a really cool 2v2 exclusive play coming out of Fenner and Caliber as they're able to pick off the building Spore Crawlers so far, and there's nothing here to actually challenge this except these Infestors. Now, the Infestors are generally a poor solution for dealing with the Mutalisks because of their health regeneration, but they're not, I guess they kind of are reasonably clumped up, so there are enough fungals here to kill them. But once he realizes, like, oh, there are Infestors, okay, I'll just back off a bit. Not a huge deal since Fenner has now been able to take the base on the northeast side, and Caliber able to take the base in the top left. So Caliber and Fenner, Team Caliber, doing much better so far this game. I really like that play that they made with the, wow, he's building 19 drones. Fenner, you're a greedy boy. You're a greedy boy. Yes, you are. And finally, that natural gets taken for Caliber. But he really made the most of his Phoenix play, and he's even pumping out double Void Ray because he saw the Roaches, he saw the Void Rays. And if you spread the Void Rays out, then they you know, the fungal growth doesn't really do too much to them because of the number of hit points that they have. So the Void Rays are pretty beefy units. And then, of course, you still have to worry about the fact that there is a ton of Mutalisks flying around the map against a Protoss player who, for all intents and purposes, is quite broke. NeutronX doesn't really have much of an army anymore. His Stalker count was completely reset. And off of just 2 bases, there's only so much you can do. So these Phoenix are going to come in and forces a post an overcharge and then just backs off. No big deal. But he's basically relying on this army synergizing. Now, a fungal growth would be devastating with these Blink Stalkers because then he can just fight from afar. He doesn't have to worry about anything. And even these Templar, yeah, if he fungals and then the Archons hit the clumped mutas, oh my god, that's a cash money play. So the Phoenix run forward, bait out the first fungal, throws out 2 fungals and 2 infested Terran to kill that Phoenix. Maybe a bit overkill, but it's all right. Not the biggest deal ever. He's switching away from the Phoenix play at least at this point in the game. Continue to just pump out those Void Rays, and especially now with these additional Vespene Geysers he's taking, he can do a lot more with it. So Fenner, I love seeing Dank every time I mouse over one of Fenner's units. These Phoenix continuing to poke. But Fenner has like a really sick income. Look at the amount of money Fenner is pulling in. 2,500 minerals a minute and 1,000 gas. So with the 90 drones that Fenner has, he's living life like it's golden. But this is the first time that NeutronX and hinO are going to be pushing across the map. This is the first time that blue team is going to be making a big push. This army is very anti-muta, but Fenner has switched into swarm hosts, and he does not have an overseer. There's no overseer with this army, so he actually can't push. They just turn around, and now the Mutalisks are basically saying, "Hey, I know your whole army's over there. Let's make some magic happen, baby girl." Backing away from these photon cannons, though, somehow did not lose any Mutalisks to those. But you know, oh, the wall! No, it's blocking the swarm hosts. No, he's gonna try to burrow, but they can be revealed with fungal growth. Okay, so he force fields away to buy time. That's actually very clutch to keep those bad boys alive, but they should be able to at the very least take out this northwest base of Caliber. Poor Caliber sits on one base for pretty much the entire game and then immediately loses it. This army is way too strong for him to fight against, but the Mutalisks are going to come in here. They're going to be trading against all of this, killing off the Stalkers in the main base of NeutronX, killing off the Photon Cannon, and actually this Queen came over to be able to pick that off too. It seems Fenner is more interested in spending his bank on a transition into other units right now. Quite a few Zerglings actually on the way for Fenner, as the Swarm Hosts are doing their best to hold this position. I just don't know if the Swarm Hosts are going to be able to hold this position for that long. Infested Terran Beast Balls being thrown across the gap. And Void Ray's trying to defend against these while the Locusts push towards the ramp. These Hydralisks are really clumped up, but there's not a lot of range on these Locusts, and the force fields of NeutronX are actually keeping them away. So it seems that at the end of the day, this army composition for hinO and Neutron was just too strong. A Tempest does pop out, but is it too late? Swarm Hosts are good. Guys, I just don't think they're that good. Even without an Overseer, using the Infestors to reveal the Swarm Host is more than enough. He's actually out of he's out of fungals. He's got one more fungal left. Actually, oh, Overseer showed up. Never mind. I don't think this army can be stopped. The supply still isn't that bad for Fenner, but Caliber just doesn't have a lot behind this. He throws out the double G's. Fenner GGing out, and it looks like hinO and NeutronX will advance. The unknown, I would say, European players defeating the